This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good. So the main objective of inheritance is so we can optimize object creation so that we can decrease the memory allocation, right? See, so our main intention is to decrease the memory by the time of execution. So as much as possible, we have to use low memory and we have to write a code in high effective way, right? So that in Java we have a concept called inheritance. What is inheritance, team? Inheritance is nothing but one object acquiring the properties of another object, right? So why how we are getting the inheritance? So by using a special keyword in Java. What is the special keyword? The special keyword is inheritance, right? Sorry, extends documented. Mhm. I have documented yesterday, right? I think that's it. Okay. Inheritance, right? How we are exchanging this inheritance by using extends keyword, right? So where we have to use this one, your class name extends another class name, right? So the the class which is before to the extends keyword, that is it is acting as a child, right? And the class which is after the extend keyword, that is acting as a parent. Or else the people are calling here child class. This is child class, nothing but subclass extends superclass. You can call parent class or superclass, child class or subclass. Clear, team? So the example we have seen yesterday, right? So one class extending properties of another class, we have created object, right? That is a single level inheritance. Whenever one class acquiring properties of another class, that is we are calling as single level inheritance. How many number of classes involved in single level inheritance? How many number of classes involved in single level inheritance? Only two, right? One class, one class, one child class. Only two classes. Two classes are involved in a single level inheritance. So if you're saying single level inheritance, one class, nothing but parent class, another class, nothing but child class. Acquiring properties from child to parent or parent to child.
Parent to child.
Exactly. Always remember, always the properties are coming from the parent only, not from the child. Always the properties are flowing from parent to child. We cannot access child class properties in parent class property. And what is the inheritance main ground rule? If you want to access, if you want to access parent class properties in child class, first of all, you have to make relationship by using keyword called extends. Here, let's say, suppose it's a B class, we have to write like this extends A. This is parent A. This is child B. And the inheritance ground rule is you have to create which class object? B class object. B class object dot you can access either A class variables or else A class methods. That is single level inheritance. Let me show you programmatically. Already we have seen yesterday, right? See, let me create one more package here. New package inheritance. right? Let me create a class. My class is A, right? Let me create another class. Can I create one more class inside a class? We can create, right? As of now, I'm taking independent classes, individual classes. See here, inside my A class, I have a method called public void test A method. For understanding purpose, by the time of execution, let me give this is test A method, right? Same method, if I want to maintain in one more class, just maintain. This is not a test method, this is a test B method. For output, give test B. Now, so if I want to execute this test B method, so I can execute by using main method. There's only one option as of now. Only we can execute main method, right? Getting error here, right? So how to execute this test B method, team? B equals to new keyword. To create object, we have a new keyword. Class name, object name is equal to new class name, right? So B dot test B method, right? And run as Java application. Nothing great. So we are executing B class method by creating B class object, right? So what if I want to execute A class test A method? What are the possible ways? What are the possible ways we know as of up to today? I want to execute A class test A method. Please tell me the possible ways. Come on, Vim, quickly. Okay, very good. We can create by using object creation. Very good. We can use inheritance, right? So I don't want to create object of A class. If I create object, again, it will create a memory for A class. I don't want to create number of objects here. So I have to avoid, by the time of program writing, I have to avoid the number of object creation, so that I am taking the help of inheritance concept. By using extend keywords, I can make a relationship between my A class and B class. Now my B is acting as a child, my A is acting as a parent. Now this time by using this B class child class object, I can able to access my A class methods, B class methods, A class variables, B class variables, if you mention, right? Observe. Now this is A class test A method. So if you don't have a relationship between these classes, you are not able to access parent class test method without any relationship. You can only access the parent class properties or another class properties either if you have if the classes are in relationship, or the another way you can go for a object, and one more way you can access with static or class name reference. We'll discuss in detail. As of now, remember, if you want to access another class properties, either you have to go for object creation or else inheritance. Nothing but that should be a parent class, right? So if you don't have a relationship, you will get an error. So make relationship. Now my A is acting as a parent class or super class, my B is acting as a child class, so that I can access my A class methods and variables with B class, because B is a child class. Always inheritance ground rule is you have to create object for which class, team? Child class. See here. So if I create object for A class, I can now able to access A class or B class, both classes. Come on, quickly. Exactly. So here I can access only A class test method. So if you are trying to access test method of B, it will give you error because it is parent class. It is not possible. Reverse accessing not possible. Always inheritance is up to down, parent to child only, right? So always remember this one. This is not possible. This is only possible. Clear? That is single level inheritance. Now, so we have discussed one more thing, that is multi-level inheritance. Nothing but I ask you to write a program. I haven't get any mail from anyone. Right? Like this, you can take n number of classes. One class accessing properties from another class. One more class accessing properties from another class. This is multi-level. Right? And this is single level. And this is one more thing we can update in. So we have one more type, that is multiple. Have you heard about this multiple? Multiple. So I discussed him by the time of Java induction. So we'll see. So one class, one parent class, another parent class. Yeah, team. We'll discuss. Nice. Okay. So one parent class, another parent class, right? One more child class, right? So acquiring properties from two classes. Right? Let's consider this is a class called women. This is a class called men. Consider in this class we have a method called work function, right? And we have a method called work, right? So in this we have a method called cry. We have a method called just eat, right? So if I make a relationship, so I have to document like this. Let's consider this is a child. My child extends parent women comma men, right? So what is inheritance ground rule, team? What is inheritance ground rule? Always we have to create which class object?
Child class.
Exactly. Always we have to create child class object, then only you will get the use of inheritance, right? So now if my child is accessing two class parent class properties, now I have to document like this. So child class object, let's consider this is child obj object, right? So if I call the cry method, from where it will get? Women or men?
From women.
Woman.
Exactly. So if I call child object dot work, from where it will get?
Both
Both
men and women.
both men and women or any alphabet priority. See, remember, this is not possible. That's why this is not possible. By the time of execution, program may get confused from where I have to access the properties. If you have a n number of parents, from where I have to access the properties, either from first class or either from second class or either from third class. Because of this problem, So people are removed entire the concept of multiple inheritance. There is no concept of multiple inheritance in Java. So this is very, very important. And by the time of interview, we people are very much interested to ask this question. So why the multiple inheritance removed in Java? Does Java support multiple inheritance? Is that possible multiple inheritance in Java, or else can you access the properties? Can you access method? Can you access the variables from two classes or more than two classes at a time? This type of question they must ask, right? So why multiple inheritance not possible in Java? Because it is a rarely used concept. It is a confusing concept, and this concept people we are calling as ambiguity problem. This is the problem calling as ambiguity problem. So if your class is accessing properties from more than two at a time, it is not possible. That is we are calling as multiple inheritance, and the problem is ambiguity problem. And what the actual problem? If the parent class having, see, there is no problem until unless you are having the unique functions or unique variables. So when you will get a problem whenever you are having the common names for your methods or for your variables. Always program may get confused by the time of calling. But inheritance ground rule is always we have to create object in which class? Child class object. That is multiple inheritance. And one more thing, we have a hybrid inheritance. So, and remember team, this multiple inheritance supports in C and C#. And forgot to say, it supports C and CPP. But in Java, it's not possible. Right? Hybrid inheritance, nothing but, so this is a combination of multi-level plus this multiple. So if you document, we have to document like this. So again, is this possible? Is this possible, team?
No.
Not possible because we have a multi-level. It will not possible. The program always throw error by the time of calling methods. Right? So, and the next one, fifth one, the last one is hierarchy. Hierarchy nothing but, see here, one parent class accessing properties in number of child classes. There will be a number of child classes like this. And you have to make relationship like this. Only one parent class and number of child classes. This is very, very important. I mean, in our Selenium, we will have hierarchy. This is parent, and these are child 1, child 2, and like this child 3. Like you can maintain n number of childs. This is we are calling as hierarchy. And inheritance, the concept we are calling as inheritance. So inheritance nothing but one object acquiring properties from another object. So why we are going for inheritance? to reduce the number of object creation whenever you make a relation between two classes. So we have to make relation between two classes by using a special keyword in Java called extends. Always remember, whenever you use extend keywords, so the before the extend keyword, the class is acting as a child class or subclass. After extend keyword, the class is acting as a parent class. Always the properties you can access from parent to child, not child to parent, right? And the inheritance ground rule is you have to create object for child class only. Then only you can able to access parent class property. And we have a different classes, sorry, different types of inheritance: single level, multi-level, multiple, hybrid, hierarchy. Single level inheritance, nothing but one class acquiring the properties of another class. Here, how many number of classes acting here? The only two classes, and making relation between two classes by using extend keywords. Next, multiple. Here, the number of classes we can maintain the relationship by using extend keywords. So the one class, parent class, child class, and subclass, and like that you can maintain a number of classes, right? And then multiple inheritance. One class acquiring properties from more than one class at a time. So it is not possible in Java. So why? Whenever your parent class having a common methods or common variables, by the time of program execution, program may get confused. So from which class I have to access a property? So this problem we are calling as ambiguity problem or Fraggle problem. So this is not at all possible in Java. In other programming languages like C and C Sharp, so there is a possible of multiple inheritance. And one more inheritance is hybrid. It is a combination of multi-level and multiple. Anyway, multiple is not possible. It's not possible. That's why hybrid also not possible. This is also not possible in Java. The only possible inheritance types are single level, multi-level, and hierarchy. Hierarchy nothing but number of classes accessing properties from only one parent class. So if I want to document like this, we have to document like child accessing parent 1, child 2 accessing parent, child 3 accessing parent, child 4 accessing parent. Like this, you can maintain a number of childs. You can make relation between one parent and number of childs. And remember, so always we have to create which class object here? Always you have to create child class object so that you can access parent class. And remember, there is no any relation between child class, one child class and one other child class. You cannot access so this child class properties into another child class. Remember, so always there is no any different relation between these two. Anyway, these are siblings, but you cannot access this class methods into in this class. Suppose if I create object of child 1, C1, I can access properties of each class. Here, I can able to access how many class properties?
Parent class. Parent class.
Parent class and child class itself. Please keep it muted. See, so first of all, I can access C1 class properties. I can access C1 class properties itself. And next, parent. That's the only way I can access parent class properties and child class properties. Class itself. See, first of all, I can access the properties, nothing but methods and variables of self class, this class, C1 class, and so I have a relationship between child and parent so that I can access parent class properties too. Clear team? Please practice these all the types of inheritances and let you know whether it is supporting or not. So you try to make relationship between two classes at a time and multiple, whether it is supporting or not, and hierarchy. This hierarchy is very important team. We are going to use in coming sessions. This is hierarchy. And anyway, so this also will use single level, multiple, these three types we'll use. Okay. Please let me know if you have any doubts regards to inheritance. Good, man. Any doubts? Try to make it in Eclipse so that you will get doubts as it is. Try to make it in Eclipse. Try to create a number of classes. Try to create relationship and try to make change relationship. Try to access the number of classes properties so that you will get doubts. You will get subject and you will get clarity. Okay. So that is about inheritance team. Hope everyone is clear with inheritance and types of inheritance, right? So let me go to the next topic. And inheritance. Next, polymorphism. So do you know the meaning of polymorphism team? Anyone? What is the meaning of polymorphism? Anyone? Please text me.
One method, many forms.
Text me. Getting too much noise. Okay. Who is saying that? Bhargavi? Exactly. So what was your telling is exactly right. So many forms. I can say simply many forms. So one is acting as, one is present in many forms. See here. Here, let me create one more package, new package. Package name here I am giving polymorphism. Let me create a class. My class name is class A. Right? See, let me take public void a method called test or else method called add. Already we know it, right? Add method. Right? See, as of now, let me make it system.out.println. It will add a plus b, two numbers. So let me document inside this one, a plus b, two numbers. This is add method. Here, what if I want to take one more method? I can take one more method, but here my requirement is I have to maintain same method name. Is that possible? Two method names same within a class. Is that possible? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Observe it.
Yes, sir.
Here.
Method overloading.
Yeah, exactly. See here. I want to maintain method name, one more method with same name. But observe team, see program throwing error. Observe the error. See duplicates method, add method. So here I can change my method signature by passing a different parameter. So how to pass parameter? Already we know it. So why we have to pass a parameter? For further use, right? So let's say int a, int b. Here I want to add two numbers, add method. What if I want to add more than two numbers? See, so if I am documenting like this, if I am passing like this, int a, int b, so this is accept only two parameters, right? So that I can add these two numbers, a plus b. Obviously, it will get error and store it into one more variable, local variable. result. So print it here, the result. Right? And I want to maintain one more method. So because this is possible to add only two numbers, what if I want to add three numbers? Now take same method, now take one more variable, int c. Now this time it will accept three numbers. Now my method, add method, now it is acting as it possible to add three numbers. Now by the time of execution, observe team, by the time of execution, so if I want to call this method, obviously I have to create an object a equals to new of a. I'm creating object for a class. Now observe team, here I'm trying to call add method. How many methods I'm getting here? Add method without parameter, dummy method, add method double parameter, add method triple parameter. So let me take second one, add method double parameters. Now I want to add two numbers, 10 and 20. Now execute team. What may be the output? What is the output team? It will give you 30. Because, so I'm calling which method here? This is double parameter or two parameters. Add method with two parameters. Yes or no? Now let me call add method a dot add method. Now this time, by the time of calling, call triple parameter. Now this time you have to supply, see, this add method acting for add two numbers, add three numbers. Now this time I'm calling add method with three parameters. Like this, you can maintain n number of parameters team. So if you want, you can take one more two. Int d. Right? Now this time, this method is acting dynamically. It will add four numbers. Now by the time of calling, you have to supply a dot add. Now this time take four parameters method. Supply four variables, 100, 200, 300, 400. This concept we are calling is polymorphism. The polymorphism is of two types. So one is we can show with method overloading. Method overloading nothing but see, method with same name differentiating by parameters or number of parameters. We are saying as method overloading. What is the definition team? Methods with same name differentiating by parameters, or you can say number of parameters. So what is my requirement? I want to maintain same method. So if I want to maintain same method, program will throw you exception. By the time based on your requirement, you have to pass parameter, or you have to differentiate your methods by using parameters. Like this, you can maintain, you can pass any parameter. See team, see, public void test method. This is one of the method. See, now this method, as of now, there is no any parameter. So I want to maintain one more parameter. Here, you can differentiate this very method with a parameter. Now this is method overloading. I am overloading one parameter. For existing method, I am overloading parameters. Now, if you want to maintain one more variable, one more parameter, you can pass it int b, or else you can take any data type, string str. Clear? See, first method to second method, what is changing here? Zero parameter. There is no any parameter. Yes or no? So first to second, one parameter increased. Nothing but one parameter overloaded. And here one more parameter overloaded. See here, first method to second method, number of parameter changing, and second method to third method, for confusion purpose, I can maintain like this. See, differentiated by parameters or number of parameters. First one to second one, number of parameter changing. Second to third one, parameter changing. Clear, Dean? Let me know any doubts. Method overloading. We are overloading variables to my method which is having the common name, and remember always the method overloading possible in within class. Same class only. Suppose if you take one more class, see here, class B. Now I want to maintain same test method. It is possible. See, as of there is no any relation between this class, A class and B class. You can maintain. We should not call this is a method overloading. This class is different, this class is different. These are the independent classes. As of now, there is no any relation between A class and B class. A class having test method, and again B class also having test method. We should not call this is a method overloading. Always remember, is a very most important point by the time of saying your definition. Suppose people may ask what is polymorphism or what is method overloading. Methods are within the same class differentiated by parameter. You can document like this: method within the class having same name differentiated by parameters or number of parameters. Clear, Dean? That is method overloading. We are overloading methods. We are overloading with what? We are overloading with parameters. You can take any number of parameters. If you want, you can take any number of parameters. But by the time of calling that method, you have to supply the values. Based on your values is going to be executed. See here. So if I pass two variables, it will execute two parameters method. See, so this one 23 line, if I execute this one, which method will execute? Method with two parameters. 8th line, if I pass three parameters, observing. So if I pass three parameters, I'm removing this parameter. Now this time, so this is my 20th line and 24 line. This will execute same method, based on parameters. See, always method execution. So whenever your class having the same methods with differentiated by parameters, method overloaded methods, So always method execution is depends upon your number of parameters. Execution depends upon by the time of calling or by the time of accessing. If you supply two parameters, it will execute method with two parameters. If you supply three parameters, method will execute three parameters. If you supply four parameters, by the time of execution, method will always look for the method which is matching with that number of parameters. See here. So if I call this method add method, now this time the program will check whether this class having the add method with zero parameter. Yes, we have a zero. Or let me remove this one. Now observing, I'm getting a error. Boss, there is no any add method with zero parameter. Please try to add parameter with method match, and we have a methods with add int, add triple int like this. By the time of calling, you have to supply parameters. Based on your input parameters, method will going to execute. If you give zero, it will execute method with zero parameter. If there is no method with matching parameter, it will ask you, please, boss, there is a method with this number of parameters. You have to supply this number of parameters. Clear, team?